Hello, this is Shelley Stern-Grace with Microsoft, and I'm pleased to welcome you to another edition of Civic Chat, Networking Our Neighborhoods, brought to you by Advisor TV. Our guest today is Kathleen Murphy, and Kathleen is the Director of Communications with Forefront. Kathleen, thanks for coming. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Full disclosure to everybody, I am on the board of Forefront,
and
so
we're
so happy to have you here.
And we're grateful to have
you. Thank you. So let's jump right in. Some of our viewers may not know what Forefront is. So if you could give a real quick overview of the history of Forefront, sure. And then we'll jump into our topic today, which is talking about I'll Give.
Forefront used to be known as Donors Forum. As you know, we were and are still Illinois' a regional statewide association for not only nonprofits but foundations, and that's where we're unique in the United States. There are other regional associations, but they're either for nonprofits or foundations exclusively, and we're the only ones that bring both to the table. We also include advisors to the sector in our membership, B corporations, any social impact organization that has social impact at its mission. We welcome all.
And Forefront is just an amazing place, space, and community statewide that really focuses on the dialogue between the nonprofit, the philanthropic, the corporate donors, the B Corps. I mean, it's really social enterprises. I mean, it's really a fabulous place for dialogue.
That collaboration
has just been great.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about I'll Give. Can you tell us a little bit about the beginnings and the history?
Part of when we rebranded as Forefront last year, and we changed our mission a little bit. Our mission is now, we want to focus on building a vibrant social impact sector for all people of Illinois. And part of that is creating an environment that allows nonprofits, social impact organizations to do their best work. One of the ways that we want to do that and help nonprofits is to increase individual giving in Illinois and beyond. Individuals contribute, they're 72% of philanthropy. We want to increase that.
When you say 72%, that's...
So they're 72% of the pie. So there's corporations, there's foundations, individuals give
really
more.
Three-quarters. Almost three-quarters of overall donation. And that's in Illinois specifically, or is that a general number?
Nationwide. Okay. We want to increase that. We want to leverage that market, and we want to increase that for our nonprofits.
That's fabulous. And let me just kind of make an editorial comment, because I think the power of focusing on individual giving is the lack of dependency on other sources that might be subject to regulations or, shall we say, state budget holdups or things like that.
It's a way for nonprofits to diversify their funding a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's where I'll Give has come about. The Coleman Foundation approached us a few years ago, asked us what we were doing to educate our members and help our members in Giving Tuesday, which is, Giving Days have always been around, but Giving Tuesday in the past 5 years has really gained steam.
Absolutely.
And as the campaign started out, we were learning. We didn't quite have the infrastructure that we built this year. It was primarily social media driven. It was exclusively social media driven. We had very little marketing about it. We still did well. The first year we raised $4 million. The second year we raised $6 million. And this year we'll get to it. We're at $10.5 million.
Fabulous. What an increase. That's congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. The congrats go to our nonprofits who worked so hard to get this done. So new this year were many things. We partnered with GiveGab. They are a nonprofit donation platform out of Ithaca, New York. They met with us. They were delightful. We were impressed by their technology. And so they built for us this year a website that would accommodate donors to be able to give directly on illgive.com to the nonprofit of their choice.
Okay, so they completely made it seamless. They made the instant match. It wasn't this flow through like I'm donating to a website and then I have to figure out how the organization I really care about is going to get their money.
Exactly. They graciously waived the fee for the platform for that day, so nonprofits were effectively able to fundraise for free that day. And the donation experience that we were able to come up with GiveGab's help, it was incredible. 2 to 3 clicks, the donor was through the door. Something that I learned recently that was fascinating. only 18% of the time does a donation go through entirely. So 82% of people who click the donate button on a nonprofit's website, the donation goes all the way through to completion, like money in the bank and the nonprofit.
Where does it go?
Nonprofit.
I'm paying for
the
it.
donor
Yeah,
either drops off because they were asked too much information. Something failed in the technology. So only 18% of that time the transaction it doesn't end up completing. It could be a number of things. On our platform, it went through 93% of the time.
So that's fabulous.
It was unbelievable.
Right.
Donors raved about our donation form. It was simple.
Yeah.
4 fields to click out,
that's great.
And you're done. We'd present the opportunity to give again, and that was really, really great.
That's great.
We'd present a couple of other, either not similar organizations, but here's another organization that you might be interested in giving to, and a lot
that's
of
related
of
to something that you've identified as,
or in their area.
Right. It's kind of like when you shop at Nordstrom's online and you buy a pair of shoes. They say, "Do you want the matching purse or whatever?" That kind of thing. That's great. So what do you tell me about these numbers? 4, 6, 10.5 in the space of 3 years, right? So the 4 to 6 is kind of great. The 6 to 10.5 and still going is remarkable. Is that because you have more donors coming in? Is it marketing? I mean, what's it attributable to?
It's a combination of things. Mostly we know, because we had this platform and because we have data from Giving Tuesday, all the other platforms were reported into us as well. Blackbaud, Network for Good, told us what donations they processed in Illinois on November 29th. We didn't have that before. In previous iterations of I'll Give, it was solely based on nonprofits reporting in after the fact. We sent out a Survey Monkey. As you know, maybe 80%, if we were lucky, responded to that Survey Monkey. So we don't know. In some, we don't know what we raised in previous years.
Right.
This year, because we have the data, we have a baseline to go off of, and so we're really excited about that.
Okay, and one more question on this. You'd mentioned a few times Giving Tuesday. I think that's, a lot of people kind of really understand that. Does I'll Give continue all year long?
It does.
Okay. So let's talk about that a bit.
It does. We want this to be, it's about increasing individual giving in general, all year round. So we're educating our nonprofits how to hold on to those new donors that you obtained. And because every single nonprofit that participated with us on our platform gained new donors. All of them. And different iterations of I'll Give are going to be an I'll Give community coming up in the spring.
Okay, great.
And then we'll be running these throughout the year. We want to do issue-based versions of I'll Give. So I'll Give for mental health. I'll Give for homelessness.
Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. I love that. So what you now have is a much larger from a marketing perspective, base, right? And now you're working with, as Forefront, working with the actual nonprofits on how to recognize, manage, and cultivate the base that is linked to them. Okay, and then will Forefront be running these, let's call it sector or issues-based events?
We will.
Okay.
We're going to be running education throughout the year for our nonprofits to learn more about digital fundraising, online giving, leading up to each of these giving days that we're going to do.
Okay, so quick question for Forefront. You're doing all this work, which is part of what Forefront does, and you're helping to build this strong and healthy sector. Can people use I'll Give to donate to Forefront as well?
They can.
Yeah.
But we're not actively running an individual giving campaign.
Okay.
We're not running a campaign for ourselves.
Okay. All right.
This is part of our mission.
It's part of your service, part of the mission.
It's part of our mission. We want to build that environment.
Well, that's incredibly noble of you, I must
say. I appreciate that.
That's great. So as we wrap up, obviously we've had this wonderful hockey stick, trajectory. There's these wonderful issues-based, sector kind of focused programs and education to help cultivate these new donors. what do you see, next November for the Giving Tuesday? What might be some new initiatives that you focus on?
Now we have this baseline number. I'm really excited about that. It's not, we're not grabbing at straws anymore.
Right,
we have a system in place.
You have facts. You have
we
data.
have facts.
Right.
We were able to do a donor survey this year. We got feedback from both our donors and our nonprofits about how to make I'll Give better.
Right.
So we're going to make some changes with our platform. We're going to create an embeddable widget for nonprofits who may not necessarily want to direct their donors to illgive.com. Maybe they want to direct their donors to their own websites, but they'll still have the opportunity to use our donation platform and our donation flow, which is fantastic.
That is fabulous. So, Kathleen, if people want to learn more about either Forefront or I'll Give, how do they get in touch with you?
They should go to myforefront.org. At the bottom in the footer, you can sign up for email. You can also follow us on social media at myforefront.
Anything else to let people know about this?
I think that's all.
Okay, that's
all you
fabulous.
need to
Well,
know.
thank you so much.
No, my
Congratulations.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Such wonderful results. I'm so proud.
Oh, thanks. We are
Take
too.
care.